Hello and welcome to SoBricks. I'm Adam and this is SoBricks. This is my channel for reviewing Lego sets and building them and other Lego related stuff. In this video, I'm going to be taking a look at the Lego DC Comics Superheroes Mighty Micros Superman vs. Bizarro set. This is set number 76068. It has 93 pieces, and I paid $15 for this set. When I was buying this set, I thought that it was sealed. It seemed to me like the punch out here on the box was not punched out, but I did notice before buying it that it was used. So this is a set that I'm getting second hand here. I did buy it from a store. They got it in a trade or something like that, and that's okay. So I paid $15. This is retired. It is from 2017. It retailed for $10 there. It seems like the current value for a sealed box is maybe hovering around 15, 20, something like that, and a used one is usually 10, 11-ish dollars. That's what Brickset is listing for this, and so I paid maybe a little bit more. I've looked at one of these before. Actually, I looked at the one that's on the back here, the Wonder Woman versus Doomsday. I believe I've looked at another one since then. I have to go back and look, but I remember talking about this one because I saw it on here, and I thought it'd be really interesting to see Bizarro and see what that figure looks like. I don't think that's a figure that is especially common. I don't know how many times they have been in Lego minifigure form, so I'm really excited to see that. And I know that because it's the Mighty Micros, the figures are not like a typical full size thing, but we'll see. I want to say, so there was a Bizarro Comic-Con exclusive that someone has on Bricklink for almost $1,000. If I look for Bizarro on Bricklink, it looks like those are the only two. So this one, the Mighty Micros Bizarro, and there was a Comic-Con exclusive in 2012. And like I said, that one might go for $700, $800, $900, $1,000 or something like that. So interesting to get kind of a rare-ish figure, an uncommon figure in here, so I'm looking forward to that. So we're going to take a look at this, and in this video I'm going to open this up, I'm going to put this together, and then I'm going to share my thoughts on it. So while I build, I will speed the video up, and then I'll slow it back down to review this set. So until then, enjoy. Okay, so while we look at the build for this Lego DC Superheroes Mighty Micros Superman vs. Bizarro, I just wanted to say thanks for watching, and then remind you, if you like this video, click the thumbs up. If you like my other videos, click the subscribe button. That helps me a lot. You can support the channel. You can send money to the channel, membership, supers, and thanks. There's a Patreon in the video description. There's a Buy Me Coffee link, and all that stuff helps, so maybe consider checking it out. Thank you very much, and now on to my review for this set. Okay, so here is the Lego DC Comics Superheroes Mighty Micros Superman versus Bizarro. So this was used. It did have all the pieces, no extra pieces, but I'll still kind of talk about those. And this is fun. This is cool. Bizarro is such an interesting character, and I think they represented it really well here. So I'm excited to get into this, and that's what we're going to do. So the first thing we will look at is the minifigures, because you get two minifigures. That's the case with all of the Mighty Micros as far as I know. These minifigures, because they're Mighty Micros, are on the shortest legs, so we'll kind of see that. And the first one we'll look at is Superman. Let me see here. So here we have this Superman figure. There's a few different versions of this. This one's interesting. So I'm actually not sure what crystal this is or what it's supposed to represent. It's not kryptonite, presumably because but maybe it's the opposite of kryptonite, night to crypt. I don't know. I don't know what Bizarro's weakness is. If it's the inverse of Superman's, maybe that's what this is. But so we do have that. And then looking at this, I think this is the perfect hair. I don't know if they always use this hair, but this little curly Q here that comes down in the front, the kind of Clark Kent classic, you can see a little bit of the skin tone kind of going in there. That is molded on the hairpiece, so we get that little like overhang, kind of little bang, kind of Superman thing there with the hair. So I really like to see that. Face is pretty basic, looks maybe a little more cartoony, a little more childlike. Same for the eyes. It has just a more animated feel to it, and also maybe a youthful feel to it that differentiates this between like the Superman I looked at the Superman and Krypto team up set with the Lobo figure. So that's pretty interesting. We do have the red cape here, has 2 holes. It is kind of the spongier material there, so really easy to flip around. It's not super stiff. You can actually kind of stretch it out and see some of the fiber in there, or like you can see through it a little bit. It's not like super opaque. Looking at the torso, this is great, pretty standard. It's got the Superman blue going through there. We have the Superman S chest emblem there. We have the kind of belt here in the middle. There is no like midsection like there is on other legs, because this is on the shortest legs. So we have that little bit there, but the belt isn't printed on the legs. These legs cannot bend. No printing on them. No printing on the arms. No printing on the back here except for the belt. So a little bit there, which is fine. Not a big deal. It gets covered up by the cape. There's also no alternate face here on the back for this one. Overall, for a kind of micro Superman, if it's supposed to be a more youthful one or a younger one, a smaller one, whatever it is, that makes up these mighty micros, this like fits in, feels similar to the Doomsday and the Wonder Woman one I looked at. And maybe I looked at a Marvel one of the mighty micros, but I can't remember which one exactly. So anyway, I think that makes sense, and good to get this minifigure here. I think that's a great hairpiece there. And I don't think the other one I looked at, like the Krypto and Superman team up set with Lobo and Krypto the super dog, I don't think that had that hair. So that's really interesting. And then the other character, this is one that I was really, really, kind of interested in here, is Bizarro. So the Bizarro figure, now I believe this crystal piece is a kryptonite. I would want to say, because it's sort of that's what Superman's weakness is. And this is really great. So I think this is a super funny thing here, this figure, besides just the kryptonite. So looking at the hairpiece, it's sort of got a look of Clark Kent's hair, but like messier and a little dorkier, and just kind of less coiffed, I want to say, and just a little more chaotic there. So it's a really interesting hairpiece. The overall shaping of it, like when it looks like kind of from this front angle on the one side, it just feels like it just doesn't lay right, which I think is appropriate for this character. And Then looking at the face, so if this is supposed to be like a mirror image of kind of Superman here, we have a different skin tone, which is noticeable. So it's not like completely inverse, but Bizarro just looks like very pale skin here. And look at that face printing. It is just crazy. The mouth's all open over to one side. We got the eyebrows all going different ways. The eyes are way different. We have some like extra like wrinkles or different things on the cheeks and on the face at different areas. This one also no alternate face there, but that's okay. I think this is great, and the face is really interesting. Having that mouth kind of like offset over there is very funny and cool. So I think that's really nice. For this one, we have a different color cape, so I believe this is purple, and I want to say a lot of Bizarro's stuff is purple, but I could be wrong. So the cape, again, it's 2 holes. It's the kind of not super opaque, not super stiff, kind of spongy cape there, easy enough to manipulate that, which is good. Another differentiating factor. Looking at the torso again, so we have the different color here. You know, it's hard, it's actually a little bit difficult for me to see because I'm colorblind. Like, are these the same color torso? I don't think so, but maybe they are. Maybe they are. It's hard for me to tell. Maybe they are the same color, but one of the things that I can point out that I know for sure is a difference is that the S is backwards, and it also is a different color. So instead of the kind of red there, we swap that in. And maybe that's the thing, is like this whole thing isn't all purple. It's still like the Superman blue, but where it would have been red, it's purple. And I think that kind of lines up. We still do get the belt there. And then we have the legs, the same kind of legs, no printing on the back, except for where the belt is. So not the same torsos, which is good. No printing on the arms or anything like that. I think, you know, if I wasn't colorblind, this would make more sense. But now that I'm looking at it, it does appear that the suit by and large is still blue. There's just some difference in kind of the accessories and the accents to the look here. So the shield kind of emblem there, kind of all the way around, is got some more of a purple instead of the red, and then the S being, you know, inverted and a different color there. And I believe, because of this, and I'm not super knowledgeable about Bizarro, I think Kryptonite might make Bizarro stronger. And I don't know in all the ways that it's similar to Superman or the inverse, but I think this is a great comparison. Like the kind of trope of like a clone, or like Doodle Bob. I don't know if it's like a SpongeBob reference, but there's a Doodle Bob that this face just reminds me of, like in a huge way. And I think that's kind of a fun way to think of Bizarro. Like Bizarro is the Doodle Bob to SpongeBob's Superman, or maybe, you know, Doodle Bob is the Bizarro to SpongeBob Superman or something, but just whatever the order in terms of what came first. So I think that's really nice there. Great to get both those figures. And again, this is the only version of Bizarro in minifigure form that's like readily available. The only other time it's been in minifigure form is a Comic-Con exclusive that is very valuable. It's from like 13 years ago Comic-Con, and there probably wasn't a ton there, and there doesn't seem to be a bunch kind of out on the market here, but I didn't check all areas. And then besides the minifigures, we can look at the actual set, the actual build here. So the Mighty Micros, it's like little cars almost. Sort of want to call them like go-karts or little buggies or something, but they're cars, they're little micro machines. So These actually do have some specialized pieces. So the wheelbase for these, or like the chassis here, so it has kind of those axle plate pieces in there, but they're fused together. And then same for that fender piece in there that kind of shows off those wheel wells. Those are they work out to about like a 4x4 little square, and those are specifically for Mighty Micros, and that's what you use as the foundation here. We do a little stuff with just some other plates. Most of this is studs on top, but not all of it. We do have a bracket in here on the back. There is a stud on the side, kind of plate up at the front, brackets along the side here. We have the thicker wheel at the back, the thinner wheel up there. We also have the different rims, a spin on there, which is great. And then you don't have a ton of space here. You put these brackets on the side. We do add this kind of tail fin there, which is nice, as well as maybe some thrust or some lights on the back with that translucent orange. On the brackets, we put these tiles there, and then we can kind of build up the cockpit here. So we use one of those handlebar pieces, which is pretty common use for a like seat back or something. We got a joystick here for them to, or a lever or a thing for them to control this. A suggestion of like a windshield here. And then we have the front bumper, which is really interesting. This is a printed piece, so this is one of those like faceted kind of chamfered pieces that has like the 1x4, and then it changes by like a plate right here, and this all like slopes down and everything, but it does have the Superman S printed on it right there, the crest or the logo or whatever. And then we add just a few more details to these brackets, some studs on the side. We use these vented slopes, a cheese wedge, and these sort of gauntlet accessories that just go in the hollow stud of the bracket there. So those could be like minifigure accessories or a number of other things, and they actually look really good. I like how this flows here. There's like, it doesn't look out of the ordinary. It's not the most secure connection having that in there, but that also could be because this was a used set. I'm not sure. It rolls nice for the most part. The wheelbase is very, very short, so like if it gets kind of going a different way, it'll really get out of whack. But for the most part, this is really good. I like that. Great to get that printed piece in there. And that's the one for Superman. I can show what they look like in here. So I think it's helpful to kind of have the cape going up. That's how it's shown on the box and on the instructions here. So the cape does kind of, well, it can sit up like that. You can have it down a little bit more. You can try to tuck it behind the wing there, or have it gonna be on top of that. Not a big deal. They can be in here with their crystal in one hand if we wanted them to be, and they can have their other hand up, and you can try to move the lever or the joystick there a little bit, and we can see them kind of operating this, and I think that's good. You can see the crest here, see the one here, and this looks cool. I don't know how much of this vehicle screams Superman to me. Like, there's not, maybe I would have liked a little more like red accents somewhere. It is just blue all the way around. You get a little bit of orange, and then just like gray and silver and clear and dark gray. And I think this could have benefited from some of the other Superman colors. If it's a little pop of yellow, a little pop of red, something like that. And then, in terms of like what makes these Mighty Micros unique, this one doesn't scream Superman to me. Like the one for Doomsday and the one for Wonder Woman, like Wonder Woman's was kind of a micro version of like the Invisible Jet, and I thought that was like really, really great, a good choice of what it should look like. And for this one, I'm not sure what kind of, maybe this is supposed to look like Superman flying, or with his like fists out in front of him or something like that. And I guess it just doesn't read super well to me if that's the case. And I'm not even sure if that's what the intent was. So I think that we could have maybe done a little bit more to kind of make this more obvious, make this look more Superman. Of course, we do have the printed piece there. We do have Superman piloting it, but that's maybe my one critique is like color choices, and potentially some other design things to emphasize like whose vehicle this is, even without the print or without the minifigure in there. And then the other one is the Bizarro micro machine. And this is excellent. And part of the reason it is excellent is because of the some of my critiques for the one for Superman. Because if you look at these are, you know, very, very similar. They almost look the same, but there's some important differences here. So really, really excited to kind of go through this. This one starts with the same kind of wheelbase here, kind of that axle plate, and then it has the same kind of wheel well, fender piece, chassis piece in there, but this is kind of that purplish color, or maybe it's just a darker blue or something, but I think it's purple. So we have that in there, and then we build this up, and the thing about this, looks very similar, but it's kind of the inverse in a lot of ways to the Superman one. So the rear wheels here, the wider wheels are the ones on the back, which means the like fist adornments here, like the overall like construction of this and the build techniques, the pieces used are pretty much the same. The fists are facing the back on this one, and then the like kind of wing sort of tail thing there is the front of this one. We do have lights here which are a little bit different as well. We have kind of that interesting kind of curved piece with the hollow studs. We put some clear translucent on there, as well as a vented kind of silverish gray piece, and that is the front of this. On the back, we have the fists kind of coming towards the back. We have that same piece that's used on the front for the Superman one, but it's not printed or anything. It would have been great to get a Bizarro, you know, logo printed on there on the back, but I guess I understand why they didn't do that. It just would have been really, really neat. Instead of the windscreen at the front, we do have those cheese wedges here, but this is the older style, like dark translucent or trans black, trans brown kind of color. Besides all the color swaps between like from blue to purple, you know, we have these vented slopes are just the light bluish gray instead of this one there blue, so those could have been purple if they made those pieces in purple, but maybe they didn't at this time, or not this shade. And we still do have like the joystick and the like bucket or the handlebar piece there. They're just flipped around going different ways. So I think it's really fun and almost, you know, unintuitive or not intuitive to have this being the front end of the micro machine here. So we can put Bizarro in there, and I think this is like maybe this is the super correct way of doing this. So here we have what it looks like when Bizarro might be piloting this. We can kind of move the lever out of the way. They have their kryptonite there. And this is like a totally, it looks, you know, a lot different from the front here. They look like they're maybe piloting different types of vehicles in some sense. But, you know, when you get that top-down view or you flip them around and really look, it is totally different. Now, I could also be convinced that maybe Bizarro drives this backwards because everything's just inverted. And so if we still wanted like these kind of, I'll just call them bumpers, if we wanted those to interact, if someone wanted to tell me or wanted to play with this in a way that's like, yeah, Bizarro's is like reverse, but he also drives backwards, so it sort of works out to them being the same. I think that's really fun. I also think it's fun kind of being like this, where it's like I have the same, I tried to make a mirror copy of the vehicle and the color changed a little bit, and the thing about the mirror is it flipped some stuff around. And so, you know, in a lot of ways, besides the way like the characters are facing right now, these look, you know, almost identical. And I think that's just super fun and really nice. Now, if this had more kind of defining features like I was asking for, maybe it would be more difficult to kind of invert them in such a consistent way and in such a complete way here for Bizarro. And, you know, if that's the concession that had to be made to like get to where this is, I think I'm gonna forgive them for that, because that is what I wanted here, and I think this is really a fun pairing, a fun little duo here, a nice little inverse on the design, which really adds a ton of character to this. So that is everything that's in this set. Like I said, I bought this used, so I don't have the extra pieces. The extra pieces are going to be probably like the cheese wedge here, the lever piece there, these 1x1 pieces here, maybe a wheel well, I'm not 100% sure. Same for like the clear stud pieces there. There's not a ton of tiny pieces, probably the cheese wedges again, and that would be it. But I don't have those, so we'll just have to imagine that's what I'm assuming would be there, but maybe at this time Lego wasn't doing, I don't know. So that's what we have. And this set is 93 pieces, 2 minifigures. They're not like full minifigures, but they kind of are. And I paid $15 for this. It retailed for $10 in 2017. It seems like new. They go for, maybe 15 to 20, something like that. If I go check the brick link, seems like the cheapest new sealed complete one in the US is about $18. So I did pay slightly less than that. It looks like a bunch more in the US. They're kind of hovering around that 20 plus up to $30 for this. I did look at the Bizarro that's in this set, and it seems like the Bizarro maybe sells in like really good condition for $6 to $10, maybe more. So because it's a rare figure, it's a unique figure, hasn't been put in minifigure form, you know, other than one really exclusive version, you know, that holds some value there. And I think, you know, a big part of these is paying for, especially post-retirement, is paying for the figures, because the Mighty Micros had like figures that you might not otherwise get in Lego form. And so if I could sell Bizarro for $10 and I paid $5 for the rest of this, you get the Superman, you get the little vehicles, you know, that's fine. I think $15 for this is fair. Now, I did buy this used. It seems like used complete ones could be bought for less than $15. You know, this one had the box. It was in pretty good shape. It had all the pieces. It had the instructions. The instructions were in good shape. So I'm not like too mad about it, you know, paying 50% more than MSRP, but 8 years post-retirement, you know, not too bad. But again, it wasn't sealed. I think $15 is fair. You know, if I break these down, I know that each one of these vehicles is not really worth $5 here, $5 here, or whatever, but maybe it's $2 here and $2 here in my mind, and then we have whatever, you know, $5 each for the figures, and we're getting pretty close to where we are, even though this was a used set. You know, I do prefer to get sealed sets, but in certain cases, when I can get it like in a store that's local to me, support them, give these things a second life in some ways, you know, I don't have a problem with this either. And I did really want these figures. I think that they delivered here. I think the Bizarro really delivered. And I was very pleased with the Bizarro build for the actual vehicle. So that is really cool. And yeah, I'm happy to have this. Happy I was able to get this and talk about it on the channel. So very fun. I like this a lot. And I think that is it. So great. If you like this video, please click the thumbs up and give it a like. If you like my other videos, click the subscribe button down below so you can stay up to date on all the LEGO videos I'll be doing here in the future, including more LEGO superheroes, more DC stuff, probably some more Micro Machines if I can get some, and then tons of other LEGO sets from all different themes, all different shape, size, price point, piece count, big sets, small sets, new sets, used sets, retired sets, tons of different stuff. So subscribe so you don't miss any of my upcoming LEGO videos. Subscriptions are a great way to support the channel. If you're not subscribed, maybe consider doing it. Subscribing to the channel is free and it means a lot to me, so thank you very much. And then if you wanted to support the channel in a different way, you could give money to the channel. I buy all these sets that I review on here by and large with my own money out of my own pocket, and I'm happy to do that. But if you want to give back in any way because you enjoy the videos or anything, there are ways to do that. You can do that here on YouTube with membership, supers, and thanks. There's a Patreon. There's a link in the video description to that. There's also a link to buy me a coffee, quote unquote, which is like sending money directly to the channel. All that stuff really, really helps. There is also affiliate links in the description, which you can click one of those, shop for something that you're going to buy for yourself, and I might get a fraction of a penny at no additional cost to you, which is kind of a fun way to support the channel as well. Every little bit helps. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And with all that said, until next time, thanks. Bye.